The holographic display flickered to life in the command center of Terra Station, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of the assembled human officers. James Martinez, Admiral of the Terran Defense Fleet, leaned back in his chair and couldn't suppress a chuckle as the alien ambassador's message began to play. "People of Earth," the Zephyrian delegate's translated voice echoed through the chamber, its tone dripping with what their species considered menace. "The sacred truce of 3,000 years is hereby dissolved. Your kind has grown too bold, too numerous. We, the Galactic Coalition of Enlightened Species, declare total war upon humanity. Surrender now or face complete annihilation." Lisa Chen, the station's chief xenobiologist, snorted with laughter from her position at the science console. "Did they just threaten us with annihilation after 3 millennia of peace?" She turned to James with sparkling eyes. "Do they have any idea what we've been up to during their little nap?" James stood up, straightening his uniform as he addressed the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, it seems our neighbors have forgotten why the truce was established in the first place." His grin was predatory. "Perhaps it's time for a history lesson." The truth was, the Galactic Coalition had insisted on the truce after humanity's first tentative steps into interstellar space had terrified them beyond measure. Humans didn't just explore. They thrived in environments that killed other species. They didn't just adapt. They conquered physics itself, bending the laws of nature to their will through sheer stubborn determination. "Sir," reported Lieutenant Commander Sarah Webb from the communications array, "we're receiving surrender demands from 47 star systems. They're giving us 72 standard hours to comply." 72 hours? Lisa burst out laughing. "James, remember when it took them 72 hours just to figure out how we were growing crops in hard vacuum?" James nodded, his smile widening. During the early years of the truce, human agricultural engineers had developed hydroponic systems that could function in the void of space using nothing but stellar radiation and recycled materials. The Coalition had studied the technology for decades, convinced it violated several fundamental laws of thermodynamics. It didn't. Humans had simply found creative ways to work around limitations that other species accepted as absolute. "What's our current fleet status?" James asked. "Well, sir," Webb replied, consulting her displays. "Officially, we have the same 1,200 ships we declared during the last treaty verification, 50 years ago. And unofficially? 1,200 visible ships, sir. The rest are indisposed." Lisa walked over to the main tactical display and began calling up star charts. "Show them the Ghost Fleet protocol, Sarah." The display transformed, showing what appeared to be empty space around Earth's solar system. Then, layer by layer, ships began materializing on the screen. Thousands of them. Tens of thousands, each one built using metamaterials that bent light, and sensor waves around them, making them effectively invisible to conventional detection. "How many?" James asked, though he already knew the answer would be absurd. "Current count stands at 237,000 active vessels, sir, plus manufacturing capabilities to build approximately 50,000 new ships per standard day, if needed." The room fell silent except for the soft humming of electronics. Even James, who had been briefed on humanity's true military capacity, felt a moment of awe. During the 3 millennia of supposed peace, humans had been busy. While the Coalition species had stagnated, content with their technological superiority, humanity had been innovating at an exponential pace. "What about the new defensive systems?" Lisa inquired, pulling up another set of displays. "The stellar engineering projects are complete," reported Chief Engineer Marcus Torres from his station. "We've installed gravitational manipulators around all stars within 50 light-years of Earth. At your command, Admiral, we can create artificial gravity wells that will trap enemy fleets, or alternatively, turn any star in our territory into a directed energy weapon." James whistled low. "And they think they're declaring war on the same species they met 3,000 years ago. The Coalition's intelligence was catastrophically outdated. They remembered humans as a curious species with crude rockets and primitive energy weapons. They had no idea that humanity had spent 3 millennia obsessively preparing for the day the truce might end. Every human child learned military tactics alongside mathematics. Every colony ship was also a warship. Every civilian space station could transform into a fortress within hours. "Sir, incoming transmission from the Zephyrian fleet," Webb announced. "They're demanding to speak with our," and I quote, "Primitive Leadership Council to discuss terms of surrender." James exchanged a look with Lisa, both of them breaking into fresh laughter. "Put me through to their flagship," James ordered, settling back into his command chair. "This should be educational." The holographic display shifted to show Commander Zarthek of the Zephyrian Imperial Navy, his reptilian features arranged in what his species considered an intimidating expression. "Human," Zarthek began, "you will surrender your worlds and submit to coalition rule. Resistance is futile. Our technology is—" "Commander," James interrupted politely. "Before you continue, I have a question. How many ships are you bringing to this war?" Zarthek puffed up with pride. "The greatest armada in galactic history, nearly 10,000 vessels from across 47 worlds." 10,000, James repeated thoughtfully. "Lisa, what do you think? Should we tell him?" Lisa considered this with mock seriousness. "Well, it would be sporting. Give them a chance to reconsider." James nodded and looked back at the alien commander. "Commander Zarthek, I'm going to give you one opportunity to withdraw your declaration of war and return to your territories. This is not a negotiation. It's a courtesy. You dare threaten the coalition? Your species hasn't advanced beyond. Computer, show Commander Zarthek our defensive perimeter." The hologram expanded to show the space around Earth's solar system. Slowly, the ghost fleet began to materialize on the display. Hundreds of thousands of ships appearing as if from nowhere, each one larger and more advanced than anything in the coalition's arsenal. Zarthek's confident posture crumbled as the scope of what he was seeing became clear. His large eyes widened until they dominated his face. This is impossible," he whispered. "Commander," James said gently, "the truce wasn't to protect us from you. It was to protect you from us. The coalition insisted on it because you were terrified of what humans might become if left unchecked." He leaned forward. "Well, you're about to find out." Lisa stepped into the transmission range, her expression suddenly serious. "Commander, humanity spent 3,000 years respecting that truce. We honored every clause, every restriction, but you just broke it." Her smile returned, sharp and cold. "Thank you." The transmission ended abruptly as the Zephyrian fleet began what could only be described as the fastest retreat in galactic history. James turned to his crew, his laughter echoing through the command center. "Well, that was fun. Sarah, send a message to all human colonies and fleets. The truce is over. It's time to remind the galaxy why they were afraid of us in the first place." As alerts began sounding throughout human space, not warnings but celebrations, Lisa couldn't help but grin. After 3 millennia of restraint, humanity was finally free to show the universe what they had truly become. The galaxy was about to learn that some sleeping giants are best left undisturbed.